Hello and welcome to Standard 11, Teaching Insurance in our Personal Financial Literacy Standards. This is a tough standard to teach. Not only is it complex, but it's difficult for students to relate to. The most immediate way to connect it is with car insurance, as many are hoping or are already driving. What we want to get across to our students is that insurance plays a critical role in ensuring their financial success won't be overtaken by a costly event or accident. We want to teach students that insurance is being prepared for the unexpected. We want to teach them that it's important to have insurance and to include it in their monthly budget. Further, an insurance policy will keep them from emptying their emergency fund, which is something we discuss frequently in financial education. Insurance can also protect loved ones in the event of an injury, an accident, or if they become sick or disabled or die. Sometimes this can be a tough standard to teach as it is hard for teenagers to fully comprehend these possibilities. This is a great opportunity to bring in current events and analyzing situations where insurance is needed and helpful. A recent natural disaster and how insurance is needed in that scenario, a car accident, which can involve many layers of needed insurance, not only car insurance for replacement of a vehicle, but perhaps life insurance. If someone perished in the accident, how does that affect the family? How does insurance play a role in that? So let's take a gander at the State Department materials in teaching insurance, and we'll walk through those. We are going to start with lesson 13, 11.1 in insurance. And all of these materials can be found on the State Department of Education website under personal financial literacy, where you'll find the student lessons. There are three that you'll find in insurance, and then also a teacher guide and supporting materials or PowerPoint presentations that flow along with the student lessons that teachers can use in the classroom. So in this first lesson, in lesson 11.1, called Identifying Risk, that's really what we're talking about is risk and just identifying the need for insurance and why is that important and how do you assess what risk is. Some risk may be different for others than the student sitting next to them. So identifying the differences and risks. So it goes through that where the main objectives that we're talking about are identifying possible risk, explaining strategies for handling risk, recognizing the role of risk, and also explaining how insurance transfers risk to a third party. So we go through here, our main vocabulary word is risk. That's what we're focusing on this next lesson. And then really defining what is risk and discussing that the ability to tolerate risk varies from person to person. What seems like high risk for somebody may be perfectly acceptable to somebody else. So going through that, and then also looking at that a lot of risk isn't under your control. Some is, but some isn't. And that's what you need to be prepared for, being prepared for the unexpected. And then going into managing risk. While we live with risk every day, learning how to manage it can be a valuable tool in reaching personal and financial goals, which is what we're talking about with personal financial literacy. So looking at those different areas and then going down to the conclusion that because risk is a part of life, we really need to develop a risk management plan, which involves insurance and in most cases for handling that. So it goes into just a general assessment. Again, this is just a real easy assessment as with the end of all of our lessons. Obviously, there's many different ways that you can identify student learning and different options for assessing student learning. Then it goes into an activity, risky behavior activity 11.1, and then asking students to identify a risky behavior and then a way to avoid it, reduce it, accept it, and then to transfer that risk of the risky behavior. So that is the first lesson. So we're going to hop back over here and go into lesson 11.2 called different types of insurance. And this is where we look at all the different types of insurance that are available, or at least the majority of them. There's many that aren't covered in this, but these are the main ones that students, especially as teenagers, should know about. So we're going to look at examining the different types of insurance available, identifying key terms associated with those, with insurance and risk, and then explaining the purpose and importance of different types of insurance protection as a risk management strategy. So we're going to look at life, health, property, liability, disability, and automobile insurance are a few that we look at. Goes through the vocabulary of claim, deductible, and premium. And this is where we're really getting into some complex words. Likely students have heard of these words, but they probably don't know exactly what they mean. And this can be where students really, if they don't understand what's going on with insurance and don't know what these words can mean, and if we're not explaining them and helping them to learn that, that can be where a lot of uncertainty comes in, for not feeling like they know about financial education and how insurance plays a role in that. So we have our introduction, and then we go into our lesson saying that insurance is one of the most important tools in your risk management plan. It's really important that insurance plays a role in your financial literacy plan. So then we look at when making insurance choices, you should consider the following. Is this insurance necessary? If the potential loss is large, it could be financially devastating to you and your family, and helping students to understand that. How much insurance is needed? Do you want to cover the minimum loss, or do you want to cover the cost to replace your loss? And then how much will it cost? Do the benefits of purchasing the insurance outweigh the costs? And then we go into types of insurance. Again, we're looking at health insurance. Then we go into disability insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, long-term insurance, life insurance, and the different options with life insurance: term life, whole life, and universal life, and liability insurance, homeowners insurance. So lots of stuff going on there. This is a lot of vocabulary and a lot of different thing concepts for our students to grasp and to understand. So so that really, and then it goes into other insurance as well. Earthquake, renters, and can be a really relevant insurance for students to be looking at if they're possibly looking at moving into an apartment after graduation, different things like that. And then of course, vehicle insurance. That's a very relevant insurance to discuss with students, and might be a great way to really get them engaged to see how it applies to them. So, and it moves on to a few more ways to connect it with students. Um, our conclusion with insurance is generally considered a valuable risk management tool because it transfers part of the risk and cost to a third party, your insurance company. So, really focusing on that. We're going to have that assessment again as an option for you as an assessment. And then we have our types of insurance activity, 11.2, where we're going to read different kinds of situation and which insurance that they should be looking at, and where they fill in the blank to assess those different situations. So moving on to lesson 11.3, using insurance to manage risk. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at examining how different deductibles affect insurance premiums, determine how out-of-pocket expenses impact the cost of using insurance, identifying ways to save money on insurance premiums, and then also for students to demonstrate the ability to select appropriate amounts of insurance and selected insurance. So we have our vocabulary words: co-insurance, co-payment, deductible, and probability. And then we go into the lesson and talking to students about the different parts of insurance and what they need to know about deductibles, different kinds of policies, and how to really analyze what students actually need, because you can also obviously get too much insurance that just really isn't needed, and to really be paying attention to what they are purchasing and buying. Then what goes into insurance and how insurance is determined is an important part of this lesson. And then, of course, saving money on insurance, how you can reduce cost of insurance and what goes into the cost of insurance. Kind of both apply there. Then moving into the conclusion and wrapping it up, comparison shopping, discounts, and high deductibles, and all bundling can help lower your insurance premiums. So helping students to understand that. Then we go on into there's your the assessment to go along with 11.3, and then the activity using insurance to manage risks. So they're going to read situations and then respond with how they can reduce their insurance premiums. So that's a great activity to help them really think about those different scenarios. So that goes over the lessons and the resources provided to help cover the full standard of Standard 11. I also wanted to show you this fun game from Next Gen Personal Finance. This is a good way to get students engaged in it and kind of add that fun layer of gaming, especially since there's so much going on in insurance, so many new words, vocabulary words, things to consider. So this is a fun game to bring it all together. You could start your lesson of insurance with this. It could be in the middle or as a way to end teaching the standard on insurance. So we're going to walk through this a little bit so you can get a few moments to see how this would work. So we're going to move on. Our goal is to survive 4 rounds with as much money as possible. Insurance can help your wallet, but it costs money too. So watch your balance at the top of the screen. If you run out of money, you lose. Bummer, right? Each round requires a different type of insurance, so pay attention to the details because each kind has its own rules. Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, round 1. Congratulations, you're a dog parent. Better insure that new baby. Okay, we're gonna buy some pet insurance. Okay, so then you have the different levels of insurance that they can pick. Right now we have it as enhanced. And I'm gonna, you know what? I really think I really love my new baby. I want to make sure that my new furry baby gets everything possible, and there's no issues there. So I'm gonna go with a full deluxe insurance on that. Okay, then let's see. Do I want any add-ons? Let's see. We have snoot protection. We have all sorts of other things. I think I got the pretty high insurance. I'm going to stick with that. I'm just going to stick with the with those and not have any add-ons. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to spin the wheel. What happens here? Oh, you ripped a hole in your favorite jeans, and it's not like a hole you could play off as cute. It's in the back of your knee, which is just weird. All right, so it's very applicable to teenagers, as you can see. Okay, cross your fingers. It's not a big bummer for our next spin. Okay. On average, which costs more to insure? I'm going to say dogs. Correctamundo. In 2020, dog policies cost 60% more than cat policies. Extra $100. Fantastic. Okay. We're going to spin. I'm going to go through this just a little bit more so we can get to the next round so you can see what that looks like. All right. What happens? Oh, bummer. While hiking, your dog sniffed a porcupine. Needles right in the sniffer. That's gotta hurt. Man. Okay. Oh, man. And I should have gotten the snoot protection add-on. So even though I had the highest insurance, I didn't have exactly what I needed. I need to pay $400. Man. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Continue on. Okay, one more spin. Oh, another bummer. So it's called bummer for a reason. Socks are friends, not food. is something you failed to teach your dog. Now you're spending your evening getting his stomach pumped. Oh, geez. Okay. So, vet bill is 600. My insurance paid 550. Very good. Okay, so now my deductible is uh, yeah, I hit my deductible, so fantastic. So that's good. I'm glad I had that insurance. Okay, all right. I got a bonus. You survived a full round, so here's some extra cash to keep you going for round two. Sweet. Okay, on the second round, we are on renter's insurance. Choose your plan wisely. All right, so let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the enhanced. I'm gonna look through this. We'll go over to enhanced on this one. Monthly premium is $5. That sounds good. All right, I'm gonna stick with that. Okay, let's see. Do I want any add-ons? I might do add-ons this time. I kind of learned last time. Um, Food, refrigerated property. I get a lot of food from my parents, so I think I'm all right if I miss out on if food goes bad. Out of this world covers literally anything from out of this world, including alien invasion. Oh, well, that's, I've been reading a lot about that, so I don't know. I'm just kidding. I haven't been reading about that, but let's see. I'll do wolf protection. That's a big, there's wolves around me. And sometimes I have rock stars over at my house. So that's what I'm going to pick. Okay. I'm going to buy that policy for $120. All right, here we go. We're going to spin and go through these scenarios and see if my insurance applies to this bummer wheel. Ooh. If your dog bites someone at the park, renter's insurance will cover you. I'm going to go with true to see what happens. Yeah, you are correct. Liability covers your pet even if you're not home. Okay, very good. Continue. Do you have insurance regrets? No, not yet. Oh, your phone got stolen at a music festival. Yes, it's still covered, even though it didn't happen at home. Okay. Total cost, $500. Oh, man. Okay. So insurance is paying nothing for that. All right. Did I buy the right insurance? I don't think so. Your bike was stolen off the bike rack. It's not in your place, but believe it or not, it still counts towards your personal property replacement. Total cost, $500. Insurance pays $0. You pay $500. All right. May the bummers be ever in your favor. Okay, last one. You received a visit from the extraterrestrial kind. They were very friendly, but very clumsy. They ran through the glass sliding door and got slime all over your furniture, clothes, everything. Oh man, I should have gotten out of this world add-on. I should have paid attention to the news I was reading. So that's $10,000 I've got to pay. Game is over. Okay, so that's obviously a fun game to get students engaged in learning about personal finance and going through the different options to pick and just how to analyze that. So I hope that Standard 11 has been helpful. Again, we are here to help you in any way we can in teaching insurance. So please, if you have any questions or need any more resources, let us know at the Oklahoma Council on Economic Education or at the Oklahoma State Department of Education. We are here and ready to serve you.